Hi, this is Bob Schulte. You're listening to Kim Murphree on According to the Record on FM 1017 and 1320 KLWN. Depend on it.
Lately, I've been thinking of home, and is it still beautiful? In my star charts, I think I found a way to make it back into your arms. Gotta have a little faith, be the brightest star in our darkest day. Everything seems dimmer when you're staring at the sun, and you will find a way, like the northern lights through the atmosphere. Your friends are there to guide you when blue giants cloud your eyes.
FM 1017, 1320 KLWN. Depend on it. That one's called Blue Giants. And the composer, writer, singer, player, all that kind of stuff happens to be a guy named Michael Jared Murphree. He did that when he was, I think he was about 20 when he laid that one down. But it is welcome to, according to the record, we're going to be talking a little bit about star charts today and a little bit about astronomy and our friend Rick Heschmeyer. I always want to put the Hershey in. You know, that sweet chocolate thing, I can't help it. But Heschmeyer is in, and I want to tell you that we didn't have anything tornadic overnight, but they're experiencing some east of us this morning, way east about Sedalia, Missouri. So we did have some strong, powerful stuff moving through the area, mostly to the south of us, as always. But just to the east of us, Johnson County continues in a tornado watch this morning. For a little while. So we're just going to kind of keep our eye on it. I was up all night watching the storms move through, making sure that if there was anything that was very threatening, like tornadic or anything like that, that we'd be here at the station. But nothing really came through. We had a severe thunderstorm that marched through, and our friend Mark Elston down south says he got a fourth of inch of rain, and he said, warm spring rain. I smell and hear the morel mushrooms popping in the timber. I love that. That's Kansas. Ticks too, he says. Yeah, they can stay away, but I love the morel mushrooms. So I hope you slept well through the night and are ready for today. We're going to have a beautiful, really nice morning. It's cloudy out there, and it looks like, the storm's clearing off a little bit. The high today will be 71 degrees with a chance of showers early, and then mostly cloudy tonight. We have another chance of spring rain tomorrow with the high only 61 degrees on Thursday. Thursday night, the low will be around 46. And then on Friday, definitely we're going to get rain Friday night, Saturday, and Saturday night. So a rainy weekend on the way. Good time to do some stuff inside and then come out and watch the skies. So we have a lot to get to today. We're talking to Family Promise. And I wanted to start out by just talking a little bit about what has been going on in the sky, because a lot of people have heard about it, but maybe haven't been able to pay attention. What's coming up this year, it's not as exciting as last year, but there's still some stuff that we can watch and look at. And sometimes when we get outside of ourselves and look up in the sky, it can remind us how small our problems are. Rick Heschmeyer this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm so delighted that you're here, because I think that perspective is very important. And the name of the club is, again, AAL. What is that?
Astronomy Associates of Lawrence.
Okay. So you guys pay attention to what's going on. Just to remind people, what's your background, Rick?
Oh, I've just been an amateur astronomer for about 40 years now. And I have regional affiliation with the Astronomical League nationally, but I've been the president of the local club for about 10 years.
Why do you like watching the sky?
I think the main reason why I started doing it more than anything was it was something I could do when I got home from work to just kind of chill, and put all the stress and everything else from the day behind me. And I enjoy it. It's beautiful, and I love sharing the night sky with people.
I'm glad you do, because you're my go-to guy for the sky.
Well, you're my go-to girl. So.
I like that. That works for me. So when we talk about what went on recently, what maybe, like, I missed a bunch of stuff, but I do want to recap some of the things that have gone on recently.
Well, the last 6 months or so have been pretty busy. We had a partial lunar eclipse last fall, and then we had comet Chuchin Atlas, which is probably one of the 5 brightest comets visible from the northern hemisphere in the last 25 or 30 years. So that was a great show. It was visible to the naked eye. We had aurorae that were visible from Lawrence in October as well.
How does that happen? How do we get the aurora borealis visible from Lawrence, Kansas?
Well, the aurora is caused by charged particles that are ejected from the sun, usually during, a coronal mass ejection or something along those lines, giant X flares. But that happens most often when the sun's at solar maximum. And that's an 11-year cycle, and we're pretty much right at the maximum of that cycle right now. So the last year or so, and I expect the next year or so, will be pretty active as far as large aurora being visible. It's just a matter of when those particles get ejected from the sun, whether they're pointed in the Earth's direction or not.
You said that recently there was one, but we couldn't see it because we had clouds.
Yeah, just about a week ago, there was some aurora that was visible in northern Kansas, northern Missouri. We just had clouds that evening, so we wouldn't have been able to see anything.
That's too bad, because I think that's pretty amazing. So we had, I did make the eclipse, the lunar eclipse. I didn't see the comet. But we had some planetary shows too, didn't we?
Yes, yeah. I mean, if you were to read the news or Facebook, it all seemed like it was going to happen on 2 days, one day in January and one day in February. But in fact, it's been going on for a couple of months. We're just at the end of that now. A lot of the planets are going to be moving into the morning sky. But there will be another nice planetary alignment with 6 or 7 planets visible, but it'll be more in the morning in August.
Okay. So you said we're at the tail end of the other one. Is it still viewable now, or is it gone?
Really, the only planets left that are visible now are Jupiter and Mars, and Jupiter only for about another month. Mars should be till the fall, should be visible.
What part of the sky do we see them in, and about what time? Are they in the morning sky?
Jupiter is going to be sort of in the southwest.
Okay.
And Mars will be close to straight south.
Okay. So if you want to get out and look, I know that a lot of times you got to get outside of the city to look at some things, but you said the planets are pretty bright, so you should be able to see.
Yeah,
those.
you can see the planets from your front yard.
Now, I know that there's a couple of meteor showers coming up this month.
Well, there's one decent one coming up this month. It peaks on the night of the 22nd and 23rd of April. It's called the Lyrids. It's not one of the best showers, but because of the fact that there really isn't going to be a bright moon interfering with viewing it, it should be a pretty good show. And we get about 20 comets or 20 meteors per hour that you could see.
I read somewhere that they're a little unpredictable, and sometimes they can just mass and go whoop, 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 whoop.
Well, some of the showers have times where, like the Leonids, every 33 years there's a storm, and instead of getting 50 or 60 meteors per hour, you might get a couple of hundred. But the last of those was in 2001, and it's like 33 years, so we still have a few years to wait for that one.
Okay, but this one, that's probably something you need to go out of town and get out of the light interference, right?
Yeah, it's this is one that's, any meteor observations, the moon will interfere, or light pollution in the city will interfere.
Okay, so that's around the 22nd. And I also know you were telling me about a cool planetary thing going on that it will look like the moon's a smiley face. Tell me about that one.
Oh, yeah. Later on this month, on the 25th, it's a triple conjunction with the moon and Venus and Saturn. And it's early in the morning, so if you get up before the sun rises and you look east, what you'll see is a real thin crescent moon that'll be like a smiley face, and then Venus and Saturn will be the two eyes right above it. So.
I love that. That's so fun. Okay, before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about the club. What do you guys do?
Well, we have monthly meetings where we'll invite speakers to come in. They may be members of the club, or they may be professors up at KU, or we had a lady this last month join us via Zoom from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, to just talk about different topics that might be of interest to our club and the general public. And then after those meetings, we have public observing through telescopes, and all of this is free and open to the public.
I think some of this reminds us that we are zooming right now, as we sit here in the studio. We are zooming through space, and that 2,000, maybe 4,000 years ago, the complete night sky was different. It had different. You saw different things when you looked up in the sky. The constellations were there. There were different positions, a lot of them, but it's interesting to watch how different things happen regularly and how some things change a little bit. Anything else that we want to touch on? You said something before we got on the air about mega something, and now I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what we were talking about? I just wanted to I want to make sure that we touch on everything so everybody can go out and have some fun.
Yeah, I would just suggest that people, do some searching online for events, because a lot of things like comets or aurorae happen sometimes without much notice. The comet may not have been very bright, and now it's going to be bright enough to see without any optical aid, those sorts of things. So just keep paying attention, and if there's any neat conjunctions or anything, you'll usually see something about that online.
Okay. How can people find the club?
Just Google Astronomy Associates of Lawrence, and the first two links will be our website and our Facebook page.
I'll have you back soon, Rick. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and make a move, and then we're going to be talking to our friends from Family Promise. There you go. Something fun to do, and Rick's the guy to know about it. We'll be back with some more fun right after this. FM 1017, 1320 KLWN. We are back on the air, and this morning we have a lovely opportunity to talk to our friends from Family Promise. And so I want to welcome Megan Hooper Pearson, or is it Pearson Hooper? I can't remember.
Hooper Pearson.
Hooper Pearson, there we go. And Brenda is with you this morning. Brenda, your last name?
Wall.
Brenda Wall is with us, and she is the director of Family Promise.
Correct.
Are you not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a wonderful and unique program. And as we introduce our next segment, as we're going to get ready to do that after the bottom of the hour, one of the things that we talk about here are the strategies for helping families that are in need. We have a lot of homeless outreach, but Family Promise has a unique mission. I wonder if you tell us what that mission is.
Our mission is to empower families in a housing crisis to achieve stabilization through community connections. That's actually our mission statement. And so we reach out to families with children in their care.
Brenda, how long have you been with the organization?
I've worked here for 10 years, and I've been the executive director for 3 months.
That's a newbie for you, but you have a background here, so you know the lay of the land. You know how the processes work,
Right.
And we have to shout out to Dina
Fabulous shout out to the wonderful Dana Ortiz, my predecessor.
Thank you for all the work you did for so many years. A lot of this, though, is predicated on community involvement, right?
Correct.
So how do you find the organizations to help out with the program?
Other organizations in the area, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without other organizations because Family Promise can't we can't meet all the needs of every family. So we find out what families' needs are and we get them connected. We do some great referrals. We have great community partners that help with like physical and mental health needs, or if the kids need help at school, we help get them connected with the right people. So lots of different things that happen outside of just helping with housing.
It's an interesting thing. A lot of times people don't realize that they're but by the grace of God. Having a family and keeping them above board and keeping them housed, especially in Lawrence and Douglas County, can be a challenge.
Yes, it can. A lot of us, we think about that and we think, well, if I lost my housing, I could stay with my sister's family or, my friend. But a lot of the families that we work with have either moved away or lost those connections. And so they're on their own to figure things out. And that's really challenging.
We're going to continue our conversation in a little more depth about this wonderful program, Family Promise, one of my absolute favorite programs in Lawrence, Kansas, and Douglas County, the approach to keeping families together and keeping them housed, minimizing whatever the impact would be on children and parents who are stressed trying to figure it all out. And I think these stories are important for us to hear and, frankly, uplifting because we do have solutions. Nobody is out there alone here in this wonderful place we call home. And that will be the uplifting portion of our program this morning. So, Brenda Wall in the house and Megan in the house, and we're going to talk to them right after we take a break at the bottom of the hour. Right now, it's 54 degrees outside, and we did have a tornado watch just to the east of us, not here in Lawrence, Kansas, but Johnson County was. And right now, the high will go to 71 degrees is what it's telling me. We're looking at 43-ish for a low tonight. The high tomorrow, 61 with the 30% chance of rain. And then on Thursday night, we drop down to 46. It's going to be a rainy weekend, y'all. So Friday is definitely rain on, 58 degrees for a high there. Friday night continues with the rain with the low 43. And Saturday, 52. But, these spring rains, in between, run out and plant your stuff. So you can take advantage of all that wonderful nitrogen in the rain, and you can stand out there and act goofy. I'm singing in the rain. Yes, you can, because these are warm spring rains, and that's the stuff that makes all the good stuff grow, except for me. I don't want to grow anymore. I grow out. I don't grow up. So let's get out there and make it all green and make it fun, and we will come back right after Fox News. We say it every day here at FM 101.7, 1320 KLWN. Depend on it. On According to the Record, it's going to be a great day. Fox News is next.
Hi, this is Andy Sherman, and you're listening to According to the Record with Kim Murphree on FM 101.7 and 1320 KLWN. Depend on it.
FM 101.7, 1320 KLWN. Hey, welcome back to According to the Record for this Wednesday. Kind of a stormy day. We did definitely have some that spring stuff moving through overnight, but no tornadoes here. We were under a tornado watch at one point, definitely to the south of us. Our friends down in Franklin County, Osage County. So we were watching it overnight to make sure that we didn't have anything headed our direction. And as we look at it right now, it looks like things are going to clear out for us this morning. We may have a few sprinkles this morning early. The high today will be 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and then the low tonight at 43. And as we look at wind, the winds are what's been really ripping us up over the last month. We have the chance for 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts throughout the day today. Tonight at 20 miles per hour, and then tomorrow the 30% chance of showers continuing. Thanks again to our friend Mark Elston for letting me know about what they got, 1.25 inches down south of us. Nice spring rain, he says. He's going to be out hunting for morel mushrooms. Oh, he said, 1/4 inch of rain, not 1.25 inches, just 1/4 inch of rain. Nice warm spring rain. Love that stuff. So, speaking of nice, the two gals in here do nice things. They do really nice things for a lot of people in our area. From Family Promise, Megan is here and Brenda is here. We're going to talk to them about a little bit more about Family Promise. So, Brenda, as you guys took this over, as you took over, what were we serving and what were the goals that you kind of were left with to meet? And Meg, chime in anytime you want.
Yeah, so we serve families in 4 different programs. A lot of people know Family Promise as we serve homeless families or families in a situation of homelessness. But we do a lot more than that. We've discovered over the years, because we see what's happening, we want to adapt and grow with what the needs of the community are. And we've seen that prevention is really the best way to approach this. So if we can prevent a family from losing their housing in the first place, they're not going to take that deep dip down that takes a long time to get back out of to get into housing again, and they're going to be more successful faster. So if we can help them in prevention, then and they don't lose their housing, then we can help them stabilize and move forward, and then they're good to go.
Okay, 2 questions. How do you find them, and then what do you do to help them?
They find us. When a family's at risk of losing their housing, they are searching for resources, and Family Promise will pop up when they are looking for help in that situation. If they're looking online, they'll find our website. If they're talking to other agencies, they'll be referred to us. So then they call us and we talk with them about what we can do to help them. And sometimes they need help with rent, and there's resources in the community for that, but not nearly enough. And so we work with them to work on their budget, see how they can get more income so that they can maintain their housing and, be able to pay rent and utilities and keep it.
And Megan, tell us a little bit about your journey over to Family Promise, because you were with United Way for a very, very long time and have done amazing work for a lot of different charities.
Yeah. So as you and everyone who's ever heard me talk with you on the radio before knows, I am absolutely passionate about leveraging volunteers. And so one of the things that I'm doing over at Family Promise now is we actually just recently, back in November, we opened the Mount Hope shelter. It's brand new. And there are about 33 groups, so many of them are faith-based groups, who are helping to provide meals and hospitality to those who are at the shelter right now. So we can host anywhere between, we can host 6 families at the shelter. And that can be up to 24 individuals. So it's a lot of folks to feed. And so these volunteers are just coming in and they are helping to provide those meals on it's almost a nightly basis. There's one night a week where families actually make their own meals. And then the rest of the time, we have volunteers who are bringing in meals. And then they're also creating a network by being able to be the hosts while they're there, and they're able to interact and play games with the families, maybe help with studying, maybe give the families a little bit of downtime together we have a room that's like a recreational room where you can watch movies and those kinds of things. And so they really get to be very hospitable and help the families have that family time. It's incredible. And I think that one of the things that really drew me to this program is that one of the things that people aren't aware of is that when you volunteer, anybody in the community can volunteer, right? No matter what your economic status. So very wealthy people and people who live below the poverty line and people who are middle class, all of us can step forward and volunteer. And so what that does for Family Promise is that all of us can step forward and volunteer. And therefore, when we volunteer, we bring our networks, we bring our associations, we bring our influence from all of these various types of our parts of the community, no matter what your economic status is or what strata you happen to reside in. And with that, we can build community and bridges. And that way we can, so for example, there was a person who was volunteering the other day, and they happened to have a position in the community where they help people find work. And there was a conversation going on about that. And it got everybody who was having that conversation really excited because it was giving them hope and made them aware of opportunities they weren't aware of in the community for new and interesting professions and different types of work that could increase their income. And so the families that were having that conversation with that volunteer were learning a lot, and then they walked away with another resource. So that is what happens. That is the magic of what happens when you bring a volunteer to the table and they get to know the folks that they're working with, and the folks that are at the shelter get to know those volunteers immediately. They have access to parts of the community through that networking. It's incredible.
I think it's too easy sometimes for us to just drop off some money, or not that we don't need it, but to just drop off the thing and then go our way. Then we miss that human interaction, which can really lead to that success. That's an amazing point, and very well said. I know that you guys have had success stories. So I wonder if we don't, without naming names, I wonder if we could talk a little bit about trajectories, about people that have come through Family Promise and have succeeded.
Yeah, there are a lot of those great stories, Kim. And I was just telling somebody yesterday, I have a favorite story that I love to tell without giving names. This person and her family were in the program before I started working there. I met her after she had graduated from what we called the rotation program at that time. So they'd been staying in churches overnight, and then their family moved out of rotation and not necessarily into really good housing. And when I met her, she was not doing so great. And I kind of saw her occasionally from time to time. She would stop by the day house, or I'd see her at Family Promise events. And then she started showing up more, and she and her kids were living in a not very good apartment, and they really needed someplace cleaner, safer to stay. And Family Promise had one of our temporary houses available at that time. And so she was able to move in there with her kids. And in this whole process, she had gotten a job, a really good job, and she was working at it all the time, walking her kids long distances to get on the bus, to get to school. And she stayed in our temporary housing for a few months, and then was able to get a Section 8 voucher and moved into a unit that was great for her family. And her landlord was fantastic and really happy to work with her. And her kids graduated from high school. 2 of them went to college. The third one is just launching his career, not in college, but launching his career. And she's worked at the same job, and she lived in the same house for like 8 years, I think. And now she's moved because the rent was raised, and she needed a smaller place because all her kids are out on their own doing their own thing. And that to me is just this beautiful, fantastic story of this mom's hard work, her tenacity, her love for her kids that just pushed her to keep doing more and more for them. It's beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about, is that inspiration that comes from people who are determined to make their success, and giving them a hand up is not a bad thing to do, is it?
No, that's right.
Stays in your heart, I can see. That's awesome.
Usually I cry when I tell that story. I didn't today.
That's all right. Well, so do you guys have any events coming up, or any get to know you? How do I find out more about Family Promise and how your organization works, which is different than any other organization that I've interacted with?
So I'm actually really excited to tell you that on May 26th, we are going to be hosting our annual 5K home run event. And Brenda can tell you a little bit more about that. She's been attending for many years.
It's a great event. It starts in South Park, and it's kind of a big celebration in South Park. At the beginning and at the end of the race, a lot of people come to run and see what their time will be. And a lot of people come to walk because they love Family Promise. And so it's this a great draw for people who want to support Family Promise. And this is a good way for them to do it. The kids can hang out. There's bouncy houses. There's games. I think there's going to be a kids' little foot race. And people just come and enjoy that beautiful morning, hopefully beautiful morning together on Memorial Day. And then afterwards, everybody goes home and spends their holiday and however they wish to do it.
What time does it usually start?
8 o'clock.
8 in the morning. Okay. And that's again on May
26th.
May 26th in South Park. That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
so
it's a
but
blast.
we need to go probably register for that, right?
Yep, you can go to our website and there'll be a link there to either sign up to volunteer or to run.
Is that familypromise.org?
It is.
It's LawrenceFamilyPromise.org. And you can also give us a call at 785-764-9506. We'd love to hear from you. There are so many exciting things going on with Family Promise, and we are always looking for more volunteers. And
so if people would like to volunteer, sign up, do the meal, meet the people, how do they do that?
yeah, so actually it's Volunteer Month, so we're actually celebrating all of our volunteers. We'd love to have more. Last year we had about 1,000 volunteers that helped us serve 271 families, which was 980 individuals. 584 of those were children under the age of 18. So we would love to have you join us. Again, our website is LawrenceFamilyPromise.org, and our phone number is 785-764-9506. You should definitely come and find out more about the volunteer opportunities. We have the things that I mentioned earlier for meal planning. We have volunteer opportunities for the event on the 26th, the 5K home run event. But we also have so many others. We're always looking for people to help us with public relations and HR and cleaning our different units. And there's just so many things that you could do. Please give us a shout. The other thing that I'd love for people to know about is we are taking donations for twin and queen sheet sets and towels and sponges for cleaning and diapers and personal care products. So right now, those are some of our highest needs. And because we've just recently opened the shelter, but we did it during the winter months, so we hadn't had a chance to actually make the playground area outside, which means that up and coming, we're looking for folks who are wanting to possibly donate playground equipment and mulch, but also help us as volunteers to install all of those things. So if any of these things pique your interest, again, reach back out to us at 785-764-9506 or visit LawrenceFamilyPromise.org.
Family Promise is served from the first quarter, 172 families here in Lawrence with eviction prevention, shelter diversion, emergency shelter, housing programs, and stabilization. A great organization in our community. Brenda, Megan, thank you very much for being in here today. You guys come back. We're going to hit it again for the 5K so that we can make sure next month, okay?
Thanks, Kim.
All right, guys, it's great to have you. We're on a way to a break, and then we'll do birthdays and come back and do a look at weather as well, and we'll do that right after this. It's going to be a great day.
KLWN, Lawrence, K269TV, Lawrence.
Well, we're on our way to Fox News at the top of the hour. I have no birthdays today. What? Somebody was born today, but y'all haven't given me the info, so I don't get to celebrate with you, but I do get to celebrate this. The Haskell Indian Nations University powwow, it's a resiliency powwow, is coming up this Saturday. The grand entry is at 6 p.m. at Coffin Sports Complex over at Haskell. Go over and have a great time and support. I know that my friend Manny King, Northern Cheyenne, by the way, is the master of ceremonies. I've been trying to get a hold of the president out there and some of the folks out there. I left a message, and I know everybody's busy, so we're going to do the best we can. Thankfully, Dan Wildcat's been in with us several times. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of Manny and some of the other folks out there and talk a little bit about the powwow coming up. And they also have, of course, the graduation powwow. But just in case you were looking for something this Saturday, the powwow is Saturday night at Coffin Sports Complex. Coming up, it'll be Fox News and then Joel Becker in with Radio for Grown-Ups. It's going to be a great day.